Hey, high levelers. I created this video because I want to explain to you how the new feature of the SaaS Configurator version 2 plans work. Now, this has been a great release from HighLevel, but it's also, when I got into it and started looking at this, can open up a huge can of worms and really mess up your agency if you're not careful. So I say that because it's taken me quite a while, even from an expert level, to look at this and go, how does this thing work and how do you configure it? Overall, it's very simple to implement, but there is a caveat. Stick with me till the end and I'll cover it, that you don't want to fall into this trap and you don't want to do the wrong thing here, because if you do, it could be hard, or I wouldn't say disastrous, but could be very time consuming and painful for your agency if you set up this wrong. So let me hop in and start showing you what some of these settings are here. Now, first of all, why have version 2? SaaS Configurator has been growing. It's been one of the main things that has been in HighLevel for years and years now. And initially it just started with 3 plans. Then the SaaS Configurator moved to where you can have 20 plans, which that was years ago, but everybody celebrated because now they can include more different types of plans inside of there other than just 3. And then you can start breaking things out into different categories and doing a bunch of cool stuff like that. Now, with that, the reason for the version 2 change, though, the primary reason, is to incorporate a new payment processor other than Stripe. That's it. That is the reason why HighLevel has come up with the SaaS Configurator version 2. Now, currently right now, only Stripe can be configured at the agency level. Okay, I want to give you the information here, and don't ask me why. I'm just trying to give it to you from what I gathered from their second and third tier support after I had to go up and ask a bunch of questions that the lower level support couldn't answer. But Stripe is only available at the agency level. Now, if you need to do business with another payment processor, and again, that for whatever reason could be a different Stripe account. It could be authorized.net, NMI, Square, one of those other type of accounts. But how do you do that? How do you get that configured? You have to configure that payment processor at the sub-account level. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Let me just hop in and take a quick look at this and let me show you what I mean. So here I'm going to go ahead and click on just one of my demo accounts for now, but you're going to come down here to integrations. First of all, I went to settings, the account settings, and then you have to come to integrations. This is one way to get to it, by the way. You can get to it a different way, and I'll show you that. But when you come down here, if you take a look, these are all the integrations that you can actually have inside of HighLevel. So you've got all of these payment processors that you're looking for. What you're looking for is this little icon right here. Manage payment integration for accepting online payments. Now, before this said Stripe, but of course you didn't want to just keep the Stripe image there, because now the managed payment integration could be any number of payment processors. So that's why this icon had to change. So let's go ahead and click on manage. Scale back out here. Now see, we still have the default to Stripe. We have PayPal. It says connected. That's interesting. But authorized.net, NMI, all these other types of payments are also available. Okay. All you have to do is come here and click on connect. Okay. Now, once you click on connect and you actually connect that payment processor to this sub account, now there becomes this problem. The problem is, if you're using the Agency Pro account, which, by the way, guys, I'm sorry, I guess I should have started with that. If you're not at the Agency Pro, then none of this matters to you because you don't have access to the SaaS Configurator. So you don't have any of these features, again, unless you're at Agency Pro. And if you're looking to upgrade, I have a 30-day free trial link. Please use my link. You get a bunch of different bonuses and coaching for me to help you do any of this setup if you want to. Just to let you know, I'm an affiliate of HighLevel. So just wanted to throw my plug out there. That's all. So you're going to come here and configure your connection for your payment processor. Okay. So again, going back to this, the problem is now, how do I connect a HighLevel agency SaaS plan with plan inside of this sub account that uses a different processor other than the agency level Stripe? Okay. So that's the problem. And that's the reason why HighLevel developed version 2 of the SaaS Configurator. And I'm going to show you all this, but please keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit of a longer video because I'm trying to slow down and show you a bunch of different things, and you can speed the video up if you want to. But there is a lot in here, and if you don't know it, it can be challenging to get this set up. It's really not hard to get set up because all you do is just go right where I showed you, integrate your Square, and as soon as Square is integrated, then you'll have to make sure that now you can start creating your SaaS plans, not at the agency level. Okay? So you don't create the SaaS plans here at the agency level anymore. Once you've enabled a different custom processor that's different than the agency level, now all the SaaS plans have to be configured down at the sub-account level. Now, good question you're probably asking yourself is, great, how do we do that, Ray? Show me, man. Stop BSing and get to the point. All right, I'm sorry, I will. So here, if you look at the SaaS Configurator, all these plans that are in here are actually considered version 1. Now, if you're not familiar, if you want to just continue to use version 1 plans and you're not interested in doing any of the version 2, please go visit my YouTube channel. There is a video that I put out, this one right here. If you take a look, the SaaS Configurator full tutorial. This was a couple of weeks ago, and it's just a full configuration of the SaaS Configurator V1, all the different tools, everything else that you can do to configure it, set it up, and all the customizations that you can have within there. So that video is available if you're interested in version 1, but there is a version 2 difference that looks a little bit different, and you may be confused about why you don't see certain things in the UI. And I'm going to show you how you do that. So just stay with me, I'll get there. But here, these are all version 1 plans. Now, the secret to getting your plans in version 2 is this configure option right here on the menu. You're going to click on configure, and this screen right here is where you add any sub account that you want to be able to sell version 2 plans. Now, that right there, when I heard that, that took my mind off in about 4 different directions. So I was like, oh crap, that's going to have a lot of repercussions by doing this. So I'm going to explain that, but I'm going to go through the process of getting the V2 plan set up first. But let's just assume for right now, you're going to add your own business sub account. This means, of course, when you set up HighLevel, you have your agency account, and then you have your business sub account. The sub account that you're actually doing business with has all your emails, customers, orders, websites, all that stuff is in that sub account. That sub account, the one that you're changing the payment processor, that's the one that you're going to sit here and click add new and add that to this particular list. Now, keep in mind, this right here is one of my sub accounts. The Rayo Daniels is just one that I do my affiliate marketing with HighLevel. So I've added that, but notice that these are the only 3 that are available. And I'm doing this on purpose because I've added this with Rayo Daniel. Now creating SaaS plans with this sub account is now possible. So right now, I didn't walk you through all of this, but just follow with me here real quick. If we come back here to the SaaS plan and click on add new plan, notice here, I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit. Notice it says choose payment processor. Here is Stripe version 1. Those are all the plans that you just saw right there. Okay. But now if you wanted to, you can sit back and actually create a Stripe version 2 plan with the sub account Rayo Daniel. Why? Because I added Rayo Daniel to this particular, to the configure area. And see, that's the first step. So in order to get it to show up here, you first have to add it to that configure area. But notice that I had a couple of other accounts in that configure area and they're not showing up. Why do you think that is? They're not showing up because there's no payment processor configured at that sub account. So Rayo Daniel is the only one that has a payment processor configured, as well as been added to the configure area of the SaaS Configurator. Okay, so those are the 2 things that you need in order to have this show up. Now, if you wanted to, you could sit back and create a SaaS V2 plan right here. Okay, keep this in mind. You may be redirected if you choose an HC sub account. I'm going to show you what that is. You may be redirected to the payment module inside that account to add the plans there. So I haven't shown you where that is yet, but basically if you're looking to configure a version 2 plan, you configure that plan inside of the sub account itself. So now that I've shown you that, I just trying to, once you configure all this stuff, the UI changes and you start looking, what is that for? What do I do with that? I'm trying to help you out with all that. So now what I want to do is I want to come back in here and I want to come back into the account I was just at where I did not have a payment processor. Nothing is configured. And what I want to do here is I want to come to payments. I'm going to come over here to products. Notice I don't have a product, any products configured here. So I'm going to click on create product. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want to show you one UI that's going to change, one part of the UI that's going to change. And this really confused me because when I started reading through some of the, like many of the SaaS Configurator help documents that HighLevel produces, they kept referring to a toggle switch that didn't exist. Okay. Now, up here at the top, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. I'm going to show you this product information, include an online store. Everybody's known that if you create a product, you can have it on your online store if you want to have an online store, or you could choose to leave it out of that particular product catalog. But here, if you have, number 1, a payment processor set up, and number 2, that sub account is listed in the configure area of the SaaS configurator where we were just at, then you get a new option right here below this that says SaaS something, SaaS product. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. But I want to show you what one didn't look like first, because this is what you normally see when you go to a sub account and create a product. All you do is create it and it's just here. Now, when you create the product, it's all configured inside of the sub account. Since this doesn't have a payment processor, none of the products are being synchronized with Stripe or stored in Stripe or any of that other stuff. All the products that are going to be here are just local. But let me come in here and show you from the Rayo Daniel sub account. So when I come here, Sometimes the screen doesn't refresh well here on a HighLevel. Great. So here are a couple of the products that are actually inside here. Now notice that this right here, this SaaS plan I've got configured, Affiliate Agency Accelerator, that's a custom plan that I have for several people in my agency, but this is a SaaS version 1 plan. I just want to make sure we understand that. When you look at it, SaaS V1 plan. That means version 1 means it's configured at the agency level. It uses the Stripe connection at the agency level, and you're synchronizing that and pulling that product or importing that product from Stripe into this sub-account. That's typically how we've done with the SaaS configurator until the point where we can now have multiple different payment processors. But the whole reason for version 2 is because now we could choose a different payment processor. A lot of that data has to exist at the sub-account level because now that data has to be synchronized with whatever payment processor you choose. And the payments for that now have to go directly from that sub-account directly to the payment processor and not from the sub-account to the agency account, if that makes sense. So now that it's done all that and worked up to it, let's go ahead and create product here. Now, notice that here we have a different option. Before, we just had included online store. Now we have use as a SaaS product. So this is what I've been talking about and how all this stuff works. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what this UI looks like here, because this in a sense is how you do the SaaS configurator plans at the sub-account level. So right now I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do that. Yes, I'm going to include this as a SaaS product. Now, of course, I have to be careful about this because this is a live system. I don't have a test Stripe account I can deal with. But anyway, I'll clean it up later. So I'm just going to say test product. Don't have anything really creative here. The biggest thing I want to sit back and put in here is that you see all the same settings that you normally would for the product. Over here on the side, notice we have product information. That's the same. SaaS, that's different. The pricing, that's the same. So those are the same. The only thing that really differs is the SaaS area. And as we scroll, we're going to be getting to that. So now that we have the SaaS area, this is what version 2 looks like. So right now, if you've seen this or if you've seen the SaaS configurator, that a lot of these same options that are available at the SaaS configurator level are now available here. So again, when you set up categories, if you don't, I have several categories at the agency level set up, but notice when you do, this is what's freaky to me. And forgive me if I blow your mind on this, but when HighLevel set this type of plan up, what they've done is they've created an agency within an agency. Okay. Now I'm going to just take a minute and think about that. Think about if you had your agency, okay, your agency level, and your agency now can go out and get clients, and you can have 10 clients, 50 clients, 100,000 clients, whatever you want, as sub-accounts. Now, here's the problem that we have with this particular setup is now you're basically getting an agency within an agency. So now this sub-account is where the SaaS configurator information lives, and it has different information than the agency level. At least the agency, when I think of agency, the main agency account inside of HighLevel. Notice I had some categories configured at the agency level. I think I had 3. Those categories are not showing up here. Why? Because this sub-account is now, in a sense, being treated like its own new agency. Okay, hopefully I'm not blowing your mind on this, but this is where you could start over from scratch and you can completely redo everything inside of your particular sub-account. So I can add new categories. I'm not going to do that here because I don't want to mess with removing all this stuff and trying to do cleanup later. But in case you didn't know, categories are just one way to identify, number one, different currency. That's one of the main reasons for categories. So if you sell products in US dollars or in pounds or euros, whatever it is, you will need different categories because the category has a type of dollar assigned to the category by default. And any product created within that category is going to be in that type of monetary fund. So pound, euro, whatever, and it cannot be changed once it's created. Okay. And anything within the category, that's what you're going to be able to see whenever you upgrade, you allow your clients to upgrade or downgrade. They're only going to see the plans inside of the same category that you have already configured their current plan in. I know. Okay. Just stay with me here. But here we have the different categories. Usage limits. If you're familiar with it, you can limit the number of users, the number of contacts, features. This should look familiar. You can limit. Again, I'm building out a whole new custom product here, but this product is a version 2 SaaS plan. This is how the version 2 looks. So I can come in here and add as many of these as I want to. I'll just start clicking away. Clicking on it right there just says that's a feature that you're going to enable it. And what happens, just like in the SaaS configurator, whenever somebody comes into this sub-account to a funnel or website or whatever instrument you're using to sell your product, and somebody buys that product, this SaaS configurator product will automatically create them a sub-account at the agency level. So now a sub-account is actually allowed to create another sub-account without necessarily involving the agency level. That's why I said it's like an agency within an agency. So just follow me on this. There is a downside to this I'm going to get to, but just follow me so far here. But you can attach a snapshot if you want. So all of those are available for you. Complimentary credits. If you want to add, give somebody $5 or $10 a month worth of usage credits, you can do that. You can sit back and make it recurring. You got all the same features here that you do inside of the SaaS configurator, almost. So I'm going to show you some other caveats to that. Like I said, this is a lot of data in here and a lot of things that you have to consider, because I had to read probably at least a dozen help articles and spoke to 3 different technicians at HighLevel regarding this, and even had to have some Zoom calls to get specific questions answered that they couldn't do over email. But I'm sharing all that stuff with you guys here, so just hang in there with me. So you can do credits, rebilling. That's a great feature. Again, that's one of the things that's available on the Agency Pro level that you don't get on any other level. So that right there, you could just adjust the rebill rates. This is the same thing, just a different kind of user interface. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can always click on, one of the things I do like about the SaaS configurator is that it at least shows the rates. So you can sit back and see how much money you're making and stuff like that off of it. If you want to look at the rates, those are available there for you, but you can configure everything here at the SaaS level. Then you can scroll down once you configure this. Now you step back and deal with your prices. Now you have, again, monthly and yearly. So again, you've got these particular features that you can implement, both monthly and yearly pricing, the same as you could inside of the SaaS configurator at the agency level, the original one. So that right there, in a sense, is how you create a SaaS version 2 product. Now, when you save, this product in turn is now going to be synchronized or included, put into your product catalog, whatever you want to call it, inside of your payment processor. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, that right there is basically it. That's how you create a version 2 product. Now, beyond that, beyond the way the version 2 looks and how you have to set the sub account up to allow them to do these version 2 products, because keep in mind, this option right here, use as a SaaS product, will not show up until you add this sub account in the configure area of the SaaS configurator at the agency level. And you can't even add that to that level until you have a payment processor selected. So what steps you do? Number 1, go to your sub account and configure your payment processor. Number 2, go to your SaaS configurator inside of your agency view, and then put that sub account in the configure tab. And then once you do that, now that will enable this option right here that allows you to create SaaS products at this level. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to click on discard here because I don't want to mess anything up. Now, that's a lot of information to take in. So now let's talk about some of the, oh crap, things that can happen. So this right here is what kind of worried me a little bit, because this can get out of control. But I do want to share just one thing with you here, something that you do have, at least at the agency level, that still pertains or still works with version 2 plans. Okay. So this is one of the only settings here that you can deal with, and it's in the security area. Right now, I actually have turned this on for myself. This is where it says pause new sub accounts. Okay. For some reason, I don't know why somebody picked me, but okay, my screen is not working that well, but pause new sub account, this feature right here. What is that exactly? If you haven't seen the other video, it basically just means that if you turn this on, anybody that goes to the automation of buying a product on your website, and the account will be created inside of your account, everything will be set up, but the account in a sense will be set to pause and will not be accessible or usable until somebody, an agency administrator or user, given the permissions, comes in here and approves a request. Now, if you take a look down here, you see the request. I don't have any right now, but this is where a sub account that's just been recently created. It would have the account here. And if we take a look, we have the sub account name and we have actions over here. If I can get out of the way. So here's the actions. This means approve, disapprove, whatever you want to do. And unfortunately, I can't show you that, but it's just a simple drop down once you get somebody to purchase it. Now, why would you do this? Me personally, I did this because for some reason, there was somebody that was particularly picking on my website for my SaaS products, and they were using stolen credit cards to verify the card. Like they were buying my SaaS products on my site to verify the card was good or not, or something like that. And I knew they were fraudulent. You know it. And once you go through that enough, but I just wanted to do this so I could stop people from creating the accounts without me coming in and checking them first. So that's why I've also turned on this 2-factor authentication to verify the phone number. When they set stuff up, they need to go through phone verification to make sure they have a number that I can call them at and verify the account. Anyway, why am I bringing this up, Ray? Why are you bringing it up here? Why are you wasting my time with this? Why am I doing it? Because if you have this feature turned on, this feature will also affect version 2 plans. So keep this in mind. If you're an agency owner and your sub account that you're using for your business, you configure that to do version 2 plans. You configure a different payment processor. Perfect. All of that stuff is set up. You come in here and you have this feature turned on at the agency level. Then whenever somebody goes and buys your product at the sub account level, that sub account, again, SaaS Configurator will pick it up. It'll create the account. It'll create the user account. It'll send the person an email with the password and everything. They just can't log in and do anything until you come into this step and approve it. So just want to make sure that you understand this setting right here can still affect version 2 plans. Okay. So that is really it in configuring normally version 2 plans inside of HighLevel. Now, let me kind of give you what the hell, my question that I had to HighLevel is, what the hell did you design this for? Why did you design it this way? So let me kind of share that experience. So when I started reading this and I started looking at how a sub account can basically sell products and create new sub accounts automatically without needing the agency permission, it's got my mind racing. Because I'm thinking to myself here, people are going to use this in the wrong way and they're going to get really screwed and really maybe in a bad situation. Here's what I mean. Let's assume that you take all the information I've already given you. Okay. You assume that you have all that information already, that version 2 plans and sub accounts. Now, imagine the sub account was not your sub account. Imagine it was a client of yours. Let's just do some imagination trick here. You have a client, then you're charging whatever. And you allow this, you would have to do this. They have their own payment processor configured. Perfect. Because that's a normal part of onboarding setup is that every sub account, you connect them with whatever payment processor they're using. It could be their own different Stripe account. It could be Square. It could be whatever. So they already have that configured. But for some reason, you go into the SaaS configurator here and you add the client sub account here. Let me help you understand what is happening or what could happen and why I would not recommend that you do that. So if you add a client account here in the configure option, here's what you're saying. Yes, I'm allowing that sub account to now create unlimited sub accounts within my agency. Okay. That right there is a pretty powerful thing. And right off the bat, I can already tell some of you are going to be like, that's awesome. I've been waiting for this feature. Now I can sit back and sell my friends or sell people and they can create their own accounts and I can charge them a lot more money for, okay, that is a possibility. So keep this in mind. The way HighLevel is designed right now, there are 2 levels in the HighLevel. Okay. There's the agency. And I say the agency just being the top level. And then you have the sub account, which is underneath it. So you have agency, then you have sub account. There's no hierarchy to sub account. There is no sub account and sub account. There is no organizational structure like that inside of HighLevel. There's just agency and sub account. So now that I've said that to you, let me kind of keep going and explain the problem that this could bring. So you give a client of yours the ability to configure and sell their own SaaS plans, which you should never do. Okay. First of all, let me just stop you right there. I am going to get there, but before you do that, a better way of handling this, if you have a client configured in your SaaS agency that wants to start taking on new clients and become their own agency, please, for the love of God, transfer their account to a different HighLevel agency. Do not do this inside of your account. Okay, please. Now, understand when I say transfer somebody to another agency, I'm not talking about another provider. I'm not talking about losing business. What I'm talking about is using your affiliate link inside of your HighLevel account. Use that link for your client to create a new agency account inside of HighLevel so that you get affiliate credit for this. And then you transfer that sub account over to that new HighLevel agency. And then they can set up and have their own agency over there and they can set up their own sub accounts. Now, if you don't do this, here's one of the problems that can happen that I said earlier was just a nightmare. Number one, when you, and I had to ask HighLevel support this, by the way, these are things I want to be absolutely clear about. When you add somebody here to the configure area of your SaaS configurator, you as an agency owner are basically saying, yes, I give permission for this sub account to create unlimited number of sub accounts in my agency. That's exactly the permission that you're giving them. Now, because this sub account in here is going to be yours, of course, you're giving yourself permission. That makes sense. But you giving somebody else, another client, permission to do that can be problematic. Now, I haven't even gone over the details of why yet. You might already be, if you're ever been in business, you might start getting a hint of what I'm trying to get to here. But when you start allowing a sub account, a client, to create unlimited sub accounts, here's what happens. And this is part of why I had to go through so many high-level support people, because I had all these questions. First of all, there is really no way for you to track, except manually track, how many sub-accounts, or in a sense, which sub-accounts are your customers and your clients, and which are your clients' clients. Okay? Because in HighLevel, all sub-accounts are just at one level. So that would mean you as an agency have to manually say, here's all the sub-accounts that are my clients. Therefore, any of the other accounts must be this client's account. Okay? So can you already see a problem with being able to track all that? Now, the reason you want to track all that, I haven't even gotten to that yet. Please hang in there with me. But now let's assume you have 2 clients that you allow to configure. 2 clients that now can create unlimited sub-account. Now there's really no way other than you asking that particular person, which is your customer, what is your account, and so forth. It is very difficult to maintain that situation. Okay? It's going to just be a logistical nightmare. Now, that's logistical billing. Now let me talk about billing nightmare for you. If you all know, agency owners are responsible for every usage in every sub-account in their agency. Don't go to HighLevel complaining that somebody did all these emails that you didn't know about it. You are the agency owner. The buck stops with you. So here's the problem that happens here. When you allow a sub-account to create a V2 plan, all of the payments that get paid on the subscription to the credit card, all of that stuff, just like you get in your SaaS, how your clients pay you, those roll up inside the wallet to the sub-account they were created under. The sub-account that you gave version 2 permission to. Do you follow me? Now, because of that, the sub-account collects all the money for those payments every month. But guess who is responsible for all the usage? You, the agency owner. You're responsible for not only your client's account, but all of their client's account usage. Now, is it possible for you at your agency level, to rebill your client's client? No, it's not. This is what HighLevel says. I'm not setting this up to even try to test this, but this is why I had to go to the top. No, it is not possible for you at the agency level to bill a client's client, because your client, their clients are tied to their payment account in their sub-account, just as your client are tied to yours at your agency account or in your sub-account. So the problem this represents is not only do you have to figure out who do all these sub-accounts belong to, now you have to sit back and manually run wallet billing for each one of them. And then you have to manually bill your client that created all these sub-accounts for the usage of the clients that are under them. That's not automatic. That just sounds like a nightmare in of itself. You probably couldn't even pay me enough to take on something like that. You'd have to have a full-time accountant every month just to handle all that. And why would you want to, when if you just follow the rules that HighLevel set up using the SaaS Configurator, HighLevel, the SaaS Configurator, will calculate all the payments, all the subscription, all the usage, all the rebilling, all of that stuff happens automatically, charges their credit card, and all is good. Hopefully you can understand if you set this up wrong, meaning you let a client, somebody that's not you, create in this configure tab. And by the way, here's one of the things that I didn't even mention. When you're on here, do you see any 3 dots over here? Do you see anything like a 3 dots? No. What does that mean? That means whenever you add account here, I'm sure HighLevel could probably do it, but there is no delete function. You understand? There is no right-click delete inside here. So once you add an account to this, it's there. The only way to get rid of it is to delete this other account. That's it. So this could be a huge problem if you use it wrong. Now, could you do that? Yes. Why would you want to do that? I have no clue for this, but it could lead into multiple streams of problems in your agency. Your clients' clients could run up hundreds, thousands of dollars in AI usage, in SMS, text, email, take your pick, AI usage. They could run up a ton of money. And the next thing you know, now the only recourse you have is to manually collect something from your client, because you can't even include that on their recurring billing, because your client's recurring billing is just what's established in the subscription for the SaaS plan that they bought from you. So I hope I scared you enough with just that nightmare from logistics and billing to never add anyone into this configure except your own sub-accounts, the accounts that you as the agency owner are directly responsible for. That way, all the money gets billed to you and you have all the money coming directly to you. You know the sub-accounts that are created and everything is controlled by you. So anyway, I hope you found it useful. If you did, go ahead and click on the like button. I would appreciate it. Also, if you have a question, leave me a comment. I always get back to you, but thanks so much for hanging in there with me. And just remember, if you're looking to upgrade to Agency Pro, go with me, Rayo Daniel, the pro, and upgrade. And then I can help you with all of the setup configurations, as well as you get all of my bonuses for upgrading using my affiliate link in the video description. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me, and have a great day. Bye-bye.